First, I want to say, if you hear this noise, I 100% apologize. I don't... This is the pain when you live on a highway. You get shit like that. Of wood cutting. But anyway. So last week, there was a list of potential directors who were going to go to Amazon and pitch their take on Bond 26. And for the next James Bond movie. And there were names like Paul King, who directed Wonka and the two Paddington films, Jonathan Nolan, Edward Wright, but they decided to go for this guy, Denis Villeneuve, who is probably on that list, the best director on that list, because he has a fucking good track record. He did, No Time... he almost directed No Time to Die, but he directed the two Dune films. He directed... Prisoners. He directed Sicario, and he directed the last Blade Runner film. So he has a damn good track record, and a damn good resume. He is considered for a lot of people one of the best directors working today in Hollywood or in the industry in general. And so getting him to do Bond is, for Amazon, and I think for everyone, is a win. But the pain in the ass thing is, and you read the article and from Variety, and Amazon Amazon does have a quote, and you has a quote talking about how much he's a hardcore fan of the franchise and all that kind of stuff. But as much as he is considered as one of the best directors working today in the industry, full stop, I'm a little bit disappointed at the same time, because the word fun isn't something I would describe Denis Villeneuve's films. Fun isn't, like Dune, fun isn't a word I would describe Dune, or Blade Runner, or Prisoners, or Sicario. Like, I wouldn't describe fun. And I was kind of looking forward to that. I thought that could be a good shift of gears, of going back to the vaquero layers, going back to, go back to these vaquero layers and the crazy gadgets and the stupid innuendo puns like, I thought Christmas only came once a year. It came once a year, like shit like that. And I was kind of ready for the tone of the Boston films to come back, at least for GoldenEye and The World's Not Enough, and maybe say the first half of Die Another Day. That is what I was kind of hoping the next Bond movie to be, or the next Bond just in general to be, and that seems not to be the case. Now, all we know it's going to be the tone of like something like GoldenEye, which I think is a good blend of like serious Bond, but still have scenes like him driving a tank in St. Petersburg. You know what I mean? Like, you get stuff like that. Or having all the, the tropes of like having Xena on the top, like those things. Or the big underwater layer that's under the river. Like, hopefully it's like that. Hopefully it's more of the tone of GoldenEye than, say, Skyfall. And I like Skyfall. But I just like having 5 films in a way. Oddly enough, let's be honest, like Quantum and Casino, as serious and grounded as those two movies are, there are more of the fun side of things. And I'm saying that oddly enough because Casino, our main character gets tortured by getting his balls whacked by a carpet beater, and says to M about how calling the Bond girl a bitch after finding out that he betrayed her. Finding out that she betrayed him, and saying, the job's done, the bitch is dead. Like, I get, fun isn't probably where we want to describe with Casino, knowing there are dark moments in that, because AK torture scene again, but, the Madagascar scene, that's fun. The scene in the Miami, the Miami airport is a fun sequence and that whole thing. So there are fun moments in Casino and Quantum and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I'm just worried it's gonna be more of the same. You know, even though it's a new director, and he is considered as the best one of the best directors around. I just consider it as him being, it's just more the same. That's what I'm worried about. More serious, a more serious take on the character. But and look, argument's sake, I get it business wise if it is, because the Daniel Craig films definitely stifle, to No Time to Die, became the highest grossing films of the franchise. So it makes sense to go back on that, continue that route. And maybe it's like, maybe they're like, hey, maybe the audience don't want, the audience says, hey, we don't want to see silly Bonnie or a more fantastical take on the character. We want to see a more darker approach, or take it a little bit more serious. Because I wouldn't be shocked. We'll get a Bond fight AI movie. I wouldn't be shocked. And also, I'm thinking like, what would the story be like? The same stories that were done in the Daniel Craig films, where it's like, our field agents, why are we using field agents? We can just use AI. It's just, it's the same. I'm just worried about serious plots, and I'm just thinking it's the same damn thing. But anyway, comment below, let me know your thoughts on this news.